What is an idea, and where do they come from? What is information, and what does it do? Amidst the flood of cheap and easily accessible data in the information age, I see people losing sight of what ideas are and where exactly the power of information lies. We have a strange relationship with information within the American culture. We have become addicted to the idea of information without a healthy respect for the wisdom it should lead us to. I do qualify this statement and limit my observation primarily to Joe Average Citizen, of which I consider myself a member. The cognitive elite and the geniuses thrive despite our education system, increasing access to popular culture, and our casual relationship with information, not because of them. That is what they do. They are the top 20%. We pride ourselves on being informed. We want the best for our children and work hard to overschedule their lives and leave no moment unburdened with information and learning. Long gone are the cartoons where Coyote chased a roadrunner and silly antics were enjoyed. Any respectable modern cartoon has a point, primarily to inform in an engaging way. Is this fueled by a neurotic fear that the next Einstein may be lost? We should take heart in knowing that that type of greatness is not so easily sunk. Einstein took a long and windy path to his genius. Personal greatness is more easily squelched, and yet we do it every day in our fast and easy society. I see so many students march through my classroom without dreams or goals and who are dulled into being satisfied that they know enough. Information is easy to find and is merely seen as the ticket to a better paying job. Information has been tied to affluence, but this idea seems too superficial and simple for me. Information alone is nothing. It is the value of a dollar bill without the backing of the Federal Reserve Bank. Information is only a seed, and what it produces depends on the soil it is planted in, accessibility to sunlight, and the nutrients it is fed. Well-tended information has the potential to change landscapes in amazing ways. While government officials, parents, teachers, and social critics debate the follies and fruits of our age, millions of children are scattering the seeds of information loosely in their lives and tending them poorly. They are gorging themselves on popular culture. In his book, Everything Bad is Good for You, How Popular Culture is Actually Making Us Smarter, Stephen Johnson explores the usefulness of popular culture in these children's lives, and ours. He throws out many seeds, and this is a depiction of what grew in my landscape. His main points are that popular culture has been growing increasingly more cognitively challenging over the last few decades, and also more participatory. He also explains that regardless of content, popular culture provides a cognitive workout and can in some instances mimic real work environments. Participation is a positive trend, but it does not make popular culture academically meaningful. Although the brain is not a muscle, it is useful to view it as one that needs to be exercised. But with the brain, it is not just exercise it needs, but challenging content to exercise with. Johnson may not be advocating for people to indulge in popular culture at the exclusion of all other pursuits, but he certainly sings its praises. Ultimately, Johnson is challenging common sense, which can be overrated. For that, I applaud his efforts. Common sense would tell us that the world is flat and the sun revolves around it. Thank goodness for revolutionary thinkers who have challenged common sense throughout history. But some common wisdom survives because it is true. There's the rub. The wise man must be discerning and mindful. The question is not really if 24 is more challenging than Laverne and Shirley. We should be asking if our youth spending 12 hours a day, only 21% of that for schoolwork, with multimedia is the most productive use of their time, cognitively, emotionally, physically, and civically. I have read many times that successful people read books. I would say that traditionally that was true. Now, successful people might merely be the ones who participate more in real life than virtual life. At the risk of sounding old-fashioned, I would put my money on the performance of a child educated exclusively in a classical fashion over one educated in a modern multimedia environment, irrespective of task. Even after reading his book, I have very little conception of what Johnson means by smarter. The book provided few concrete examples or predictions, and I have seen little cognitive evolution sprouted by popular culture in my 9 years as an educator and my 42 years on the planet. I have been looking. Johnson's use of the Flynn effect as evidence of increased intelligence seems loosely conceived. Flynn himself put out a report in 2009 that shows a decline in the rise of IQ. In addition, the Flynn effect has been attributed to many things by many scholarly studies, including increased schooling, increased nutrition, more comfort with testing, and more demanding lifestyles. IQ is accepted as a limited assessment of intelligence and is rarely used as a predictor for success in life. I ask again, where are the results of all this increased cognitive powers? Michael Wesch of Kansas State University has noted that we use the internet as a way to find significance in our lives. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi explains how important flow, the sustained and focused concentration associated with the pursuit of mastery, is in our quest for happiness. When I ask young people what their goal in life is, and I ask them a lot, the most common answer is to be happy. People do tend toward pop culture because it makes them a part of something, it is fun, and there can be a sense of pursuit of mastery. The tasks inherent in popular culture, however, are not the pursuits Csikszentmihalyi has found that provide long-term satisfaction and overall good health. Alison Gopnik provides some interesting research on the inner workings of a child's brain at play. The active centers of a brain look very similar to the active areas of the brain when working with multimedia. Perhaps popular culture exercises and extends the childlike brain. I am sure there are benefits to exercising these areas of the brain, but I would question if only multimedia, and specifically pop culture for this discussion, activates these areas of the brain. I would also be concerned that if a child does not adequately develop his adult, able to focus and ignore excess stimuli, brain, he is limiting the scope of his thinking. The child's brain may be more active and taking in more stimuli, but it is not always more productive, and it is certainly more emotionally and physically taxing to support. Popular culture is addictive. The more available, streaming movies, DVDs, participatory, motivating, and validated, Johnson's book, Popular Parenting Strategies, Education, the more addictive they may become. Ian Ayres, founder of Stick.com, explains the complicated way in which humans make decisions, like should I play one more hour of SimCity? We are in a constant battle with our present and future selves. We tend to make decisions based on the belief in our stronger future selves, but neglect to realize that at the moment of critical action, we will have become our weaker present selves. This is also explored in the classic story of Odysseus binding himself to the mast to avoid the temptation of the siren song. The worrisome aspect of pop culture is not so much that it is dumbing us down, but rather that it crowds out more productive activities regarding our overall growth, well-being, and satisfaction. Education has the charge to stretch and broaden perspectives. Although I have witnessed popular culture being used effectively to motivate, engage, and improve our relationships with students, I have not seen it provide the rigor and challenge we owe our youth and ourselves. The more we edutain people, the more it is required. The increased gamification of our society is a trend necessitated by our addiction to popular culture, and it is not psychologically healthy. Nicholas Carr outlines the lasting effects that the use of the internet does to our brains, even when we are away from the computer. He contends that we are less able to focus for long periods of time and more cursory in our pursuit of knowledge. This is one small part of the popular culture dead end, cognitively speaking. Education must plant seeds that are worth cogitating on. If a person fills his mind with a diet of pop culture, is there really very much to mull over and use his freshly exercised brain to figure out? The power of information lies in the fields of our minds. The collective wisdom of the people is a wonderful thing, built on the wisdom of individuals. Personally, I do not want to be a part of the collective wisdom based on the smarter we are becoming by indulging ever more in popular culture and the trends in the education system that embrace edutainment in order to lessen behavior management issues. The information age is a grand thing, but its greatness will be ushered in by the people who are not gorging on popular culture. The young girl in Africa who walked several miles to camp by the nearest school and washed dishes for the teachers to earn the few dollars to pay for school will be a mover and shaker in the next generation, not the American playing Farm Bill and thinking he knows anything real about agriculture. To quote Plato, they were filled not with wisdom, but the conceit of wisdom. A discussion regarding the merits of popular culture seems a frivolous one, so it isn't horrible for us. Great. It still has a limited place and value in the life of any focused individual who plans on living a life of intent, pursuing mastery, and achieving personal happiness. I will concede that the brain may be better equipped at the end of a SimCity marathon to nourish seeds of information, but I question if we will have planted worthwhile seeds and would ask what seeds were missed due to the choice to enjoy excessively in popular culture. What would Martin Luther King Jr. have to say about all this?